Hi, everybody. My name is Phyllis Y. Whitley, and this is called Whisper Unplugged. Did you know that your credit IQ isn't just a number? It is your abundance, your access to abundance. So, in this episode, you're going to learn how to master it and lock it in. Come on. Hi, everybody. My name is Phyllis Y. Whitley, and I'm going to give you some nuggets. You got to get a pen, get a pencil, get your iPad, and you're going to write this down. We're going to go through this very, somewhat quickly because I don't want you to stop and say, but wait a minute, I don't want to hear no lack in this conversation. And I have one of my team members, my mentees, and she's going to start this conversation together. We're going to get it right. Okay. And I got some, you know what? I got some kind of, oh my goodness, lights everywhere. With that being said, I want you to understand something. God gave you access to abundance that you can't see. It's a spiritual thing. Okay. But the reason why I have this called the law of credit IQ is because it's a law out there. God said, "What you have, those who have, He'll give you more, and those who have not, He'll take away what you have." You know the talents in the New Testament. The reason why I went there because it's a spiritual law going on, but a physical law is your credit. I'm going to kind of put it together. That's what I'm here for. I talk about revising your whisper, but I also transform people, body, mind, and soul or spirit. Transformation. And today you're going to learn to kind of get yourself together because you are destined for abundance. But God told me one time, maybe a couple times, and I just heard it one time. I said, I don't understand it. Where's my abundance? But when I look back, God always opened the windows of no return. And I didn't know what to do with it. And God said to me one day, how can I give you abundance of finances when you don't even know how to organize it or run it? And that's what the talents was about. I didn't know how to go and make interest from that. The talent, remember, one of them hid it. That's like hiding your talents. And all of those people is usually in the grave. And if you are here today or you know somebody, or I'm talking about one of your kids or all of your kids, you need to go ahead and you need to pull them aside and say, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to this nugget. Your IQ, your credit, you have to get it together. And when I put in the word IQ, you have to be at a certain level in your life, mindset, that you are not only ready for the abundance that you deserve, but you know how to run it and organize it. Because if not, you're going to have bankruptcy. I've been there. I know how it is. Your company is going to bankrupt. Your company is not going to receive anything. And every time, like in this world today, we're changing. I don't want to go into politics, but every 4 years, you got a new president, wherever you at. What happens is that you go and you become fearful. And I definitely needed to, you know, unplug my phone, but don't worry about it. And you become very fearful and you panic, not understanding this is the purpose of this. This is self mastery. When you master yourself, one of the things that you're doing, and I know some of y'all said it's not all about money. Well, if it's not, you go to your landlord next month, go to your bank and say, I can't give you money for my mortgage. Can I just give you a word of wisdom and see how fast you get an eviction or the bank turn around and repossess that house? Okay. The key points that we have today, I'm going to share them with our guest, and her name is Sheeta. And Sheeta's from Texas, and we welcome her in her busy schedule. She got a lot going on. She has a daughter that's getting ready to graduate. So she knows about, or I hope she's watching this week, how her money is going to be going around. She's going to have to really get it together. She's going to have to constantly teach her daughter, because you know what happened when they go to college. All the credit card companies go after them.
Oh,
And I know
yeah.
she knows about that. What is credit power to you, Sheeta?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I think it opens up opportunities for you. So the more you know about your finances and your credit, the more you don't have people putting a glass ceiling over your head. because most of the people that are wealthy, they utilize credit, not their cash, right? So having that is like so important, especially in the economy we're in.
Yeah, but it's a two-edged sword because a lot of people go against Dave Ramsey. And I
Mhm.
have been coached under some of his coaching program. And then you got other ones who feel, you know, he got criticized so much talking about how you gonna let cash be king and then you won't have a credit because he said he don't have a credit score,
Mhm.
which I don't understand. He believe in paying everything off. So he's not gonna get foreclosed. Nobody's
Right.
coming to get his stuff. So he really don't need the credit because he is right. You pay all these things off. You don't need that side of the people that's coming to get you because there's
Yeah.
nothing to be gotten. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
I understand his philosophy, but then I understand the people who say, "Oh, you gotta have the credit. You can't." And it's true. Society have it that if you don't know how to manage your credit, you know what's gonna happen is you're gonna be the talent who hid the stuff under, and or you get like 5 credit cards, 10 credit cards. If you don't know how to run those 10 credit cards to help you get credit, that you can be, or should I say, get you an investment for you to be able to go into any bank and say they say yes. According to it's a two-edged sword because then I
Yeah.
understand what you know what I'm saying, Dave,
Yep.
because during the pandemic, I always thought about all the people that called him and laid him out and said, I just can't do it. I wonder what happened to most of those people. They probably lost their business. Probably some of them just lost it, their mind, because some of them that got on his show was saying that they had this, they had that. And he kept telling them, you need to kind of live poor. A lot of people don't believe in him saying that you had to live on whatever he tell you to live on. But I think about all of those people that got on his show and said, we are debt free. During the pandemic, they didn't have a problem. But I bet all those people that credit was messed up and their job was lost, you couldn't go out the house, probably knocked on their door.
Mhm.
Thought about that. So it's a two-edged sword. It's the way you want to go. Again, we talk about your credit IQ. Why am I talking about it like this? Because mindset over money. I'm talking about the
Yep.
spiritual thing. It's a mindset. If you want to go out there and do it the way Dave Ramsey did, believe in doing it, go ahead. But if you feel you love your credit and you can master your credit, then you are going to be good too. So just have that mindset over money. Both of them is just letting you know they have their own ways. So you have to master your money. I think mastering your money to me, Sheeta, is habits
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
going to form and shape your credit. What habits did you not know when you was in college and you learned later?
Oh my goodness. So nobody ever had a conversation with me about credit score. No one had a conversation with me about credit cards and interest rates and how, the money that you're taking, that you're spending on the credit card, you're not going to just pay back what you borrowed. There's a time period in which you have to pay that back with no interest. But then after that, it's interest, right? And so no one ever talked to me about how to use credit or how to manage money. So I took a combination of things that I witnessed other people do in my family. And some things you can obviously just say, I'm not doing that. But yeah, no one talked to me about how if I couldn't pay those credit cards back, what would that mean for me in the future when I'm trying to buy a house or do other things in my life, get a car, things like that that I didn't have the cash for. So it
Yeah,
was a learning curve.
yeah, and I'm a witness right here. I'm a witness right here. Okay, listen to me. She's in a mansion. Okay, anyway, that's a whole nother story. Everything is bigger in Texas. And you know their houses look like I walked up to her house. This woman she blessed me. She said I bless her, but she in return blessed me, her family. And I go into this, I look up, I needed a vacation, but because she just say, "Hey, my house is yours." She set up everything because I had to go in there for business in that area. And I looked at her house. I said, "What is this?" I said, "This is something." So you better have a mindset of the money. Now she had to have the mindset to believe that she belonged to some place like that. That's what I'm talking about. Now the other thing is I want you to remember something because some of y'all say, well, Miss P, I don't think that. I think you're going a little bit too far. I understand, but unless you got your stuff in order, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. Because I'm talking about the talents in the Bible, the men that God gave the talents to. And reason why I'm there is because if your mindset is not right, you be one of those lottery winners who won so much money and within the next 2 years they was broke. The mindset. So you see, I always come to you with something on the spiritual side.
Yeah.
Within yourself, you have to realize, first of all, how do I handle these things? One of the three biggest mistakes is late payment. You maxed out your card and you ignored your report. Y'all all heard this. Get your report every year. I have to remind myself, maxing out the cards. I have been guilty of the maxing out the cards. But it's like you have to stop and say to yourself, am I more of the Dave Ramsey philosophy or am I one that need to go talk with the credit? So you have to know what one fits you because I don't think every shoe size fit everybody.
Mhm.
So sometimes I turn around and I just be paying off everything. Some people say it's stupid, but then sometimes I mix it with a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
So it's a learning curve. You got to pay on time. I used to run, but now I don't run. I look up and I see something on my account saying, oh no, this didn't go through. It's because I have different categories and didn't put it in there and I said, my goodness, unless you were blessed with a good spouse that is a accounting background, budgeting, bookkeeping background, or you handle the money if you're a single woman, I'm telling you, you have to stay in tune. You have to look at everything. Sometimes I get tired. That's why they said put your money in there, make everything automated, let it all come out. But then what about those subscriptions and stuff that you forgot you
Ugh.
had? That's a couple $100 that's come out in a year when you had everything on auto and you said, what? They, my God, I forgot that was going to come once a year, the insurance. So you have to literally look at your bills I ain't trying to be funny. It ain't a day I can go by, I'm balancing something
Mhm.
or at least you
Yeah.
know what's coming out. Or if you got everything and you know everything's coming out, you good. Just get a notification
Mhm.
and something hit for you. We already know you want to lower your debt. I believe in that. And I teach some of my team members who go into a situation with finances and try to help them because I've been there. I know what bankruptcy looked like. I know what debt looked like. I know how it is to get an eviction notice on you. Yes, Miss P know all of that. That's why I can come back and teach you. She'll tell you. The purpose of this is because one reason only. I want you to unlock your credit IQ from the inside. I know we're talking about the outside credit report and stuff because that was manifest, but you have to have a mindset of credit IQ. And I do have some questions, and I am so happy to share with you. And I hope you got them notes. But she's going to ask some questions, and you want to take note of this.
Yeah, so one question is how fast can I fix my credit IQ?
Well, on the physical level, on the mental level, you can shift right then and there. And daily, you have to focus yourself, like I said, get notifications, get the right bank account, put everything in certain categories. You want to make sure that I'm a tide payer. You got your ties coming out. You got this coming out here. You got your bills. It's a couple books I recommend. You can come and you can have a consultation clarity call with me, and I can tell you a lot of things that you can go ahead and get into because everybody is going to work differently. They're not going to do the credit, they're going to do the cash. Cash is king, according to Dave Ramsey, and a lot of people believe in the credit. So once you change your mindset on the physical realm, it can take 6 to 12 months. I hope
That's
that
good.
answers your question. Anything else?
Yes, that's good. And then I know a lot of people want to know, can I buy a home with bad credit?
You know what? I'm going to change it around because Sheeta also is a real estate agent. And sometimes you may have the wisdom from something, but you have to know when to shut up. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to backslide a little bit. And then conclusion, I want you to tell them about the homes. Can they buy one? Me personally, I say yes, but we're gonna ask a real estate person.
Yeah, you can. There's different programs for different people, but there's some things that are barring, right? So you can't have your student loans and collections and then try to get into a government program to get a home loan because that's not going to work. So no one, there's certain things that the banks will not lend to you for. But if you have a less than desirable credit score or you have some things that you need to clear up, I always tell clients, don't be afraid to get connected with the realtor, get connected with the mortgage lender, and just see where you're at because you might consider your credit to be bad. And it could just be a couple of things that you need to tweak or, pay down so that you can qualify. But collection accounts, judgments through the court, those are going to require a lot of support and you have to fix those.
Now, how about those people who say, I'm gonna, it is people, we know it's people out there. It is banks, hard money lenders that give it to you according to your credit should I say, give it to you even though you have bad credit. Could you tell them the pros and the cons, or maybe it's just cons with going with hard money lenders, which we know that they do that when they doing renovation.
Yeah.
What are the pros and what's the con of doing something like that?
Yeah, so if you're a real estate investor and you're looking to get a hard money loan, the pros of it is that if you're looking to like fix and flip, like you see on the shows, you can go with the hard money lender. It's going to cost you a lot of interest, a lot of money to borrow money from that investor. So you really have to have it planned out. You really want to know what you're doing so that way when you do the renovations on that house, you can get it back on the market and make and sell it so you can get the money back to pay the money lender because sometimes it could be a daily interest, it can
Yes.
be a weekly interest, and it's going to be in the double digits. It's not going to be like from a standard bank. If you're looking to buy personally, I wouldn't recommend going through a hard money lender because it's almost like you robbing Peter to pay Paul, like people
That's
say,
good.
because you
Good.
you obviously you can't afford it, right? So you're not in a position to where you can get a traditional loan. So when you get what they call a subprime loan, right, you're going to take a higher interest. Your payments are going to be too high. You're not going to be able to afford that because if you could go through to traditional lending. So when you're doing it personally, you really want to just repair whatever is preventing you from getting a traditional prime loan. um, but there are government programs that don't require you to have the 800 credit score, the 700 credit score. You don't have to have perfect credit. You just have to be responsible with the credit that you have. And then a lender can work with you and get you into a traditional loan.
Excellent. Is it good to have the right real estate?
Yeah, definitely. You want to have a realtor that, specializes in what you're trying to do, and then they can really
I like that.
educate you and they could connect you to the right people because no realtor knows everything. So a lot of times a realtor is a connection point, right? If you're looking to invest, if they don't know a lot about investing, they could connect you with the lender that specializes in that or other investors that can loan you money. And if you're looking to purchase for yourself, then they should be able to connect. They should be kind of like a one-stop shop resource for you.
I love it. A lot of people don't look into that as the realtor. I think what's important is you said networking.
Mhm.
They should connect it to those things that I think that makes him or her a good realtor. For instance, I'm a fanatic with house hunters or luxury homes or
Yeah.
all kind of stuff when it deals with the house renovation and all of that. And I noticed that when you got a good realtor and she's walking through, or she or he, and the person say, "Oh, this is a fix 'em upper," and they say, "Well, we have to do this, we have to do that," and the realtor say, well, that's going to cost so and so and so, but I know somebody that do that. So if you want to do
Mhm.
that, I'll let you know. They start learning how everywhere to go. And I know
Yep.
somebody, and then some of them can run numbers because they've been there. So I think
Mhm.
that's good. And I don't want to say you're not a good realtor because you don't know these things. I would encourage realtors, and I'm pretty sure she to know that it is very important to network. because you know a
Yes.
lot of different things. Now, before we go, I want to make sure you understand your credit is your key. I want y'all to be wise in the credit. And I'm going to ask Sheeta the last thing. Why is it important for a person to probably have a home instead of renting in your eyes?
I think that it's two things, right? When you own your home, you're investing into yourself and your family and your future. So you are creating the generational wealth that you can pass down to the people you love the most or that, you care for. And so it's something to be said about that. So you're building kind of your own legacy. The other piece of it is a lot of people don't realize when you are purchasing property, you are increasing your net worth. Like, I mean, what investment can you make
Wow.
that will yield you the type of revenue that you can get from what type of long, 20 or 30-year investment can you make that could yield you several hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life of a loan? And you can sell it and then take the liquid cash from it if you ever needed it. So when you see people with net worths of 1.5 million, $2 million, $3 million. A lot of that is tied up in investments, and real estate is just another very safe investment that you can make as long as you don't,
Okay.
as
Okay.
long as you buy what you can afford. It's a safe
Right.
investment.
So if in my last question to you, and we thank you, and it's probably going to be a time when we're going to have to bring her on and did give up a special interview with her as she continued to get more knowledge. We would definitely bring her on. My question is, and I have to, think real hard what I was saying. I have heard a lot of people, for instance, get accepted for say $400,000. And I heard the smart people say, "Oh no, I'm going to get my house for 300,000." Why is that wise, or is it?
Yeah, it's wise because just because they give you a credit limit, that is what you can qualify for. That's just saying, if you compare it to what you have in your bank account, you might have thousands of dollars in your bank account, but you're not going to go to the mall and spend every dollar you have in the bank, right? Because you're looking to make sure that you can afford, what you buy. So I tell people when they get their pre approval and whatever that dollar amount is, that's just telling you the maximum that you can purchase. What you're more concerned about is if I take out this loan, how much will my monthly payments be? And can I afford those? So you can qualify for $1 million, but can you afford a $9,000 a month mortgage? So you might want to buy the home you can afford to pay monthly for, and what makes sense for you and your budget.
That's excellent. So basically, what she's saying is you don't want to be house poor.
Yeah,
Because you can
pretty
you
much.
can go on top of your budget so high, and you probably can get the same house for 300,000. So you still have to be very wise. I want y'all to know we want to thank her for her wisdom. Did y'all see how I backpedaled? I did the moonwalk backwards because you should never be in the room and you're the smartest person. So I had to pull back. When I started talking, I said, oh, shoot, let me pull back because I had the realtor sitting right here. So y'all got to remember to be wise. We want you, the purpose of this episode, not only did you get nuggets from me, you got nuggets from she's a realtor, okay? And guess what? I used to be a realtor. That's why we are going to bring her back because I didn't continue my license, but because she is an active real estate agent, I'm going to have her, we're going to do some type of interview in the future. Until then, we don't want you to let the numbers block you in your life. We don't want you to walk around and not be able to get the abundance of God instead of you saying, why me, why me? God is not going to give you abundance of anything if you don't know how to master it. That's why we have self mastery. That's what we have right here. And I thank you. And until next time, unplug, transform. And we need you to manifest. Why? We need you to manifest your promised land daily. And remember, if loving yourself is right, you don't want to be wrong. Thank you. What if the story you are sitting on is the breakthrough someone waiting for? Are you an influencer or an entrepreneur sitting on a powerful story? Hi, my name is Phyllis Y. Whitley. Call me Coach P, the founder of Self Whisper and Whispervise. I help people like you publish their story 30 days or less. Stop leaving money on the table. Your knowledge is powerful and it could be your next paycheck. Join the Publish Your Purpose Challenge using the link below. And please subscribe now. I appreciate you.